able to let trial, test, and tribulation work on you. He says it's just like some good medicine. It might take a little while, but what it's going to do after it's all said and done, you'll be better off than you were before. Y'all know what it is. He says, yeah, you ought to be able to go through it and have joy while you go through it, because you must understand that when you come out of what you're going through, you'll be stronger, wiser, better than you were before, and you'll be able to lift your hands towards heaven and say, Lord, you did it all over again. We are excited that you have joined in the Great Evergreen broadcast on today. Certainly delighted that you're here with us. Come and join us every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. in our morning worship service. Also Tuesday evenings in our weekly Bible study for 7 p.m. here at Great Evergreen, 2243 Clewitt Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70117. Now let's dive into the service at hand. My worship. How many of you believe that? You deserve adoration and glory. It belongs to you always. You deserve my worship. You deserve my praise, adoration and glory. It belongs to you always. Come on, lift your voice right there. You deserve my worship. Hey, you deserve all of my praise, adoration and glory. It belongs to you. The book of James. It belongs to you always. You deserve my worship. You deserve my worship. You deserve my praise. You deserve my praise. Adoration and glory. Adoration and glory. It belongs to you always. You deserve my worship. You deserve adoration and glory. It belongs to you always. Oh, somebody say yeah. 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 Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you deserve. James chapter 1, verses 2, 3, and 4. James chapter 1, verses 2, 3, and 4. He says here, he says, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. I need to declare that there are Christians who are around here talking about that there's something wrong as a Christian if you're suffering, if you're going through suffering, if you're going through hardships. But can I tell you right now that Martin Luther says that there ought to be some suffering if you're going to call yourself a believer. The reason why is just as God is working for you, Satan is working against you. I need to help somebody out and let you know, just as God is blessing you, Satan is trying to deceive you. He's trying to mess your mind up and make you think that you can live this life all by yourself. But I got a few people in here that have made up in their mind that I'm not going to move without the Lord. I'm not going to talk without the Lord. I'm not going to walk without the Lord. Is there about 10 people in here that made up in their mind that no matter what it is, as long as I got God on my side, I know that everything is going to be all right. It is here. James writes to the believer, the persecuted people, and he tells them what you ought to be able to do is you need to get happy when you find yourself in various trials, tribulations, and tests. Y'all ain't gonna work with me right there. He says you ought to have some joy. I like it because Betty, he did not say that you ought to be happy. He said you ought to have joy. Can I tell you, there's a difference between being happy and having joy. See, happiness only comes when something good happens. But can I tell you that I don't need things to happen in my life to still have joy, because it is responsible, or is my joy is connected to my source, who is my God. What simply means that life can turn me upside down. Things can be going haywire, but I still can open my mouth, lift my hands towards heaven, because in the midst of everything I'm going through, I still have God's joy. That's why folk, they're mesmerized, they're bamboozled, they're befuddled. They don't understand how you can sit there with a smile on your face when there should be hurt in your heart. They don't understand how bills are due and you still can open your mouth and praise the Lord like never before. They can't read you. They can't give logical understanding behind your praise in the midst of a bad situation. But you ought to give them a report and let them know that my joy is not based on what I'm going through, but my joy is based on the God that I serve. And whatever I'm going through right now, I know that my God can take care of it. Yeah, I ought to have somebody in here. You can say right now, baby, I'm going through it right now. I don't know how the bills are going to get paid. I don't know how things are going to get together. But in the midst of what I'm going through, I still can lift my hands towards heaven. I still can open my mouth. I still can yell out with a loud voice, because in the midst of what I'm going through, I understand that God has been good to me. Yeah, James tells the people, he tells them what you need to be able to do is find some joy. He says you ought to get happy. You ought to rejoice. You ought to have some joy when you find yourself in diverse temptation. Oh, y'all don't know when to shout. He says, I'm going to try it again. He says, you ought to be able to still be of good countenance, even though you find yourself in diverse situations. He says, what that means here, he says there are a variety of moments or situations or circumstances that all of us can find ourselves in, and we still ought to be able to open our mouths and give God thanks. But you still ain't got it because you ain't realized different situation, but he says we all ought to have the same joy. Stop, pause, wait 1 minute. Let me help somebody out, because you trying to figure out what situation this is. What he's really saying, he's saying that your issue may not be my issue. My issue may not be your issue. Your problem may not be my problem. My problem may not be your problem. But he says, one thing I do know is that we'll find ourselves in all kinds of problems. Yeah, y'all don't want to be real with me. Some of us, we're acting too sedity and too holy this morning. But somebody, you can testify, I haven't even told you about my problems, because you would not understand how all of these problems came my way at one time. He says you don't understand how the family can be acting up, how bills need to be paid, the dog don't want to talk to me, friends don't want to holler back at me. You don't understand all of that, and how I still can come in the Lord's house and stand to my feet and tell the Lord thank you. You don't understand how my name been scandalized, dragged through the mud, how folks been talked about me, and I still can come lift my hands and praise the Lord like never before. Can I tell you right now, the bigger the trial, the bigger the test, the bigger the tribulation, the bigger your praise ought to be. Yeah, I don't know about y'all, but it messes me up how folks, when their back get up against the wall, they won't keep their mouth closed. But I found out when things hurt me, I scream a little bit louder. I don't know about y'all, but when I bump my foot up against the bed, I have to yell out, because there's some pain in me. But I need to tell you right now, if you're going through something right now, you ought to be able to open your mouth and scream loud as you can and let the Lord know where you are, because I serve a God who will show up, and he will show out. Yeah, here James says you ought to have a little bit of joy. He says the reason why you ought to have joy when you find yourself in various situations, he says, because what's going on, it's a trying of your faith. Oh, okay, y'all ain't understanding me right there. He says it is a trying, a testing of how good your faith really is. Yeah. See, he wants to know, or God wants to know, do you have superficial or shallow faith? Or do you have faith that will stand in the test of time? Yeah, the problem with a whole lot of us is we know how to scream, holler. We know the rituals and the religiosity positions of church. But when these knock us upside our head, the first thing we do is fall in the fetal position, wondering how we're going to get out of it. But I ought to have a few baptized believers that can say, I have faith that no matter what comes my way, I'm going to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. He says there is a trying, a testing, a proving of your faith. He says it's something, as they raised up in the book of Psalms, he says you're going to be tried as gold has been tried. He says what it is, we're going to find out how pure your faith really is. You understand how you prove how good gold is. What you really do is you put it in the fire. Yeah, the problem with a whole lot of us is we don't want to go through the fire no more. We want things to be smooth. We want things to be easy. We want things to be light in our life. But can I tell you that what fire does, it purifies you and makes you stronger than you were before. Listen to me. What they do is they put gold into the fire. They turn up the fire. And don't you know what happens? They skim off the stuff that is no good. And what should happen is when you look into the gold, you ought to be able to see a reflection of yourself. Can I tell you right now, what God simply does when he does with each and every one of us, he puts us in the fire, and sometimes he has to turn it up real hot, and he takes off those things that are not like him, so that that when he looks at you, he'll see himself in you. The trying of your faith. Yeah. What he's saying is that the reason why you ought to get happy is because this is only a test. This is what you're going through right now. But when you come out on the other side, you'll be stronger than you were before. He says here that it is the trying of your faith, and the trying of your faith worketh patience. See, we live in a day and time where we want everything right now. We want God to do it right now. We want God to show up right now. We want everything our way right now. But can I tell you, the reason why God does not do it your way is simply because he's God all by himself. Okay, let me help you out. If God moved every time you wanted him to move, and he moved at every beckoning and calling that you wanted, then he would stop being sovereign, because he would now be answering at each and every one of your commands. But I serve a God that does what he wants, when he wants, how he wants, where he wants, why he wants. And guess what? When he does show up, he's always on time. And so therefore, whatever I need him to do, all I got to do is stand in his time, knowing that he's on time, and he'll do whatever he got to do in time. And after it's all said and done, the only thing I have to do is lift my hands towards heaven and tell the Lord, not my will, but thy will be done. He says, you ought to be able to let it work. He says you ought to be able to let trial, test, and tribulation work on you. He says it's just like some good medicine. It might take a little while, but what it's going to do after it's all said and done, you'll be better off than you were before. Y'all know what it is. He says, you ought to be able to go through it and have joy while you go through it, because you must understand that when you come out of what you're going through, you'll be stronger, wiser, better than you were before, and you'll be able to lift your hands towards heaven and say, Lord, you did it all over again. You ought to be able to let it work. The reason why you ought to be able to let it work, not just because you're going to be better, but simply because you're still in God's plan. Y'all, you listen to me right now. You ought to be able to shout because the Bible declares that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. And so therefore there are times that God puts you in tests. I know y'all don't want to talk to me right now because some of y'all have that Flip Wilson theology that the devil made you do it. But can I tell you right now that God will put you in a test? Y'all need some help right here. Let me help you out. Can I call on my boy Job? Can I tell you, Satan did not point Job out to God. God pointed Job out to Satan simply because he understood and knew that Job would be able to handle the test that he was about to go through. And can I be real honest with you? The reason why God calls your name is because he knows in the midst of what you're going through, you're still going to give him glory. Do I have about 10 people in here that can say, I can go through a test because I still know God gets all the glory? Pain might be coming my way, but I still can praise God. Hurt might be coming my way, but I still can lift my hands. Anybody in here right now can say, I'm going through it right now, and just because I'm going through it right now, I can open my mouth and tell the Lord, thank you. He says, understand you ought to let it work. He says, because when patience has its perfect work, he says that you are not going to want for anything. That reminds me of the scripture that lets me know that God will supply all of my needs. Okay, y'all ain't gonna feel me right there. Listen, God does not give you everything you want, but he supplies all of your needs. I'm gonna say it one more time. God does not give you everything that you want, because fact is, if God gave us what we wanted a long time ago, some of us wouldn't have even showed up this morning. Yeah. If God would have gave you everything you wanted, somebody would have stopped calling on God a long time ago. Sometimes God does not give you what you want simply because it's outside of his plan and his will. When you get down on your knees and you're asking God for something, what you're really saying, or what you really should be saying, Lord, if it's in your will, bless me. And guess what? If it's not in his will, you ought to be satisfied that he kept it from you. Why? Because God knows more about you than you even know about yourself. And sometimes God keeping things from you is a blessing all by itself. Anybody in here, you done had some stuff God done gave you, God done blessed you with because you begged and it was outside of his will. But can you say right now, I'm so happy I am where I am right now because I'm in the will. Tap your neighbor and say, neighbor, I may not have everything I want, but I'm sure enough to shout because I got everything I need. He says that you will want for nothing. What he's really saying is that if you don't have it, you didn't need it in the first place. That's why some of us right now, we're in a bad place because we want stuff that we don't really need. You worried about that bubble. You worried about him. You keep asking God to send him your way. But listen to me, the one you want and the one you need. Because the one you want is going to take from you more than he's going to give to you. And so God has been keeping a hedge of protection around you, trying to keep bubble away from you. And the more he tries to shelter you, the closer you try to get to him. Anybody in here can say, Lord, I thank you for keeping me from my man, I'm not going to leave you out there, amen, because she might be fine as wine, she might be cute as bubble gum, but can I tell you, she'll cause you more hell than a little bit. You ought to be able to say, Lord, whatever is in your will, I am satisfied. He says, you will. He says, once patience has its perfect work in you, he says, you will want for nothing. Listen to me. I'm about to get out of your way, but before I go to my seat, can I help you out right now and tell you that if it is not in God's plan, you ought to be satisfied to say, Lord, I don't need it. Okay. I'm going to try this again. That if it is not in his will and in his way, if it is not his actions for your life, then you ought to be able to say, God, I am satisfied. You ought to be able to say, Lord, I may not have the house that I want, but Lord, I'm so grateful for the apartment I live in. Because no matter how hard it gets, Lord, I know you still bless me with a roof over my head. I may not have all the money in the bank that I want, but I'm so glad, God, you still pay all of my bills. I ought to have a witness right there. Anybody in the house right now can say, I might not have the car that I want, but I'm so happy, God, that I'm happy to get from point A to point B. There ought to be about 5 people in the house house right now, you can say, God, I'm so grateful. You take care of all my needs. What do you mean, preacher? You gave me joy, unspeakable joy, and I'm glad about it. You gave me peace that surpasses all understanding. I can shout about it. Is there anybody in the house right now? You can simply wave your hands and say, Lord, I simply want to say thank you. The reason why I thank you is because you keep on looking behind all of my faults and you continue to see about my needs. Good night, good Evergreen. See you real soon. But before I go, is there anybody in the house this morning? You can lift your hands towards heaven because you look back over your life and you see all that the Lord has done. And so you gotta open your mouth and say, Lord, I just want to say thank you. Do I have about 10 people on this side? You can stand to your feet and say, Lord, I just gotta open my mouth and tell you thank you. Why? Because when I look at it, what all you done for me, when I look at how you made a way for me, when I look at how you brought me out, I gotta open my mouth and tell the Lord thank you. I thank you for tuning into the Awesome Word for today. Come and join us each and every Sunday, the 9:30 hour. Also, our life-changing Bible study on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. and our Sunday school at 8:30 a.m. here at Great Evergreen, 2243 Clewitt Street. Until next time, we'll see you again.